Welcome back to Keep It Real Boxing. This is Cypherbox bringing you the latest in boxing news. And what I want to talk about here is Billy Joe Saunders. Now, as you know, Billy Joe Saunders over the weekend on Saturday night in the Copper Box Arena defended and retained his WBO middleweight title by beating Willie Monroe Jr. on a points decision. And in the post-fight conferences and interviews, etc., he was talking about potential fights down the line and potential fights, for, potential names for his next fight. And he called out and mentioned Amir Khan. Right. I don't know what Billy Joe, and this is what I was talking about Billy Joe Saunders. I've been saying it while I've been talking about the Triple G Canelo videos that I've made. Billy Joe Saunders, this is what I expect from Billy Joe Saunders. He turned up at the London press conference for Canelo versus Triple G, talking the way he was, questioning them why, Triple G, why didn't you sign the fight with me and stuff like that, and questioning why didn't, Canelo fight Triple G, a year ago, whatever it was, etc., etc. Then telling everyone that he wants the winner of that fight, but ideally he wants Triple G because he could beat him, but he could beat Canelo too, and etc., etc. He's talking basically all this smack, right? But when it comes to crunch time, and this is crunch time now, because he said once he's done with Willie Monroe Jr., he's going to go after Triple G Canelo. One of them two. And he calls out Amir Khan. He thinks it'll be a great, it'll be a big domestic fight. Typical, like I said, of Billy Joe. Talks the talk, doesn't walk the walk. Come on, let's be honest. If he goes and signs his next fight to be with Triple G or Canelo, I'll happily apologise for what I'm about to say in this video. But I don't think that's going to happen, because it doesn't sound like that's the route they're taking. Now, in his in-ring interview on Saturday night, he said he was shaking off a lot of ring rust. Now the ring rust is off. I just need to stay active, keep this routine, this new regimen that he's got going in terms of his training and his fitness and conditioning, and he'll be able to fight again in December. Dominic Ingle, also his new trainer, obviously talked during this press conference, this part of the press conference, and said it's really down to Billy Joe. He can have a week off and go and spend it with his kids, spend some time with his kids, but then he needs to get back to work. He needs to come back to Sheffield and start training again. It's all on Billy Joe, and I do agree with him. I totally agree with Dominic Ingle there. It's all on Billy Joe. If he floats up in weight and goes back to his old ways and loses his next fight or struggles in his next fight, that's his fault, because he hasn't lived the life of an athlete. He's allowed himself to go back into his slobbish ways. But if he stays on top of it, he'll be fine. He'll be able to fight in December, and he'll be able to fight, more regularly. So I agree with Dominic Ingle, what he was saying about his fighter. Hats off to Dominic Ingle for being so honest there. But Amir Khan, like, there's other names in the middleweight division, for crying out loud. There's Daniel Jacobs. If you can't get a fight with Canelo or Triple G, there's Daniel Jacobs. There's Jamal Charlo, who's just moved up. There's David Lemieux, still around. He's on a bit of a comeback trail, looking for a big fight. You could even fight Curtis Stevens. There's plenty of names at middleweight for him to fight for Billy Joe Saunders. Why the hell are you going after Amir Khan? And especially an Amir Khan whose last fight was against Canelo Alvarez, and he got knocked out in the 6th round. And I think he's suffering from some sort of brain damage, personally, Amir Khan. But, why would you fight Amir Khan? Don't get me wrong, I get it. He sees it probably as a guaranteed win, and it's an easy fight for him. He's saying that, Amir Khan's fought at 160 before. Well, technically he hasn't. He's fought for a middleweight title which Canelo had at the time. I think he still had the WBC title at the time, which he beat Carter for. But that wasn't at middleweight. It wasn't at 160. They fought at 155, which was Canelo weight. So everyone, when they go on about Amir Khan moved up in 2 weight classes, he didn't. He moved up 1 weight class because they fought at Canelo weight at 155 pounds. So you're wrong there for starters. Plus, Dominic Ingle saying that he can get Billy Joe Saunders, if he stays according to his regiment, he can go down to 154 pounds and be a big light middleweight. Now, none of this makes sense to me. The only sense it makes to me is that Billy Joe Saunders is doing what he always does. He's talking the talk, doesn't walk the walk. So now it's come down to crunch time. Now it's time to prove, you are who you say you are. And instead of saying, right, okay, well, Canelo Triple G was a draw. Which one of you is going to fight me next? Or even if he doesn't go after them two, there's Daniel Jacobs. Fight Daniel Jacobs. Fight Jamal Charlo. Hell, even take a fight against David Lemieux. But no, he instead has spoken about Amir Khan. And let's face it, Amir Khan gets these big fights against the likes of Canelo, etc. He thinks he's a superstar still. I've said this before, but Amir Khan's not a superstar. He's not a big name in boxing anymore, as far as I'm concerned. He's a well-known name, but he's not a big name. He lost to Peterson. He then fought Garcia because obviously Peterson, tested positive for testosterone for their rematch. So he took Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia beat him. He came back. He fought, a guy called Molina, who was a lightweight. They pulled up to welterweight, which I get because they were trying to boost his confidence, Amir Khan's confidence. Then I think he fought Juan Diaz, which, I remember, did he get knocked down in that fight? Or he nearly got knocked down in that fight? I can't remember. He fought guys like Collazo. These are guys are fighters who are, past their prime, over the hill. He's not fought any of the top welterweights like Thurman, Porter, who else is there? And Ross Spence. He's not going after any of those guys. Even a rematch with Danny Garcia still hasn't materialised, even though he said recently he wants that rematch. As far as I'm concerned, for me, it's like Amir Khan's is done. I think his career is done. I'll be very surprised if he turns it around. His career is done. He's looking for those last few paydays, those last few paychecks. And not only that, when you think about it, Billy Joe Saunders will have to accept he's the B-side in this fight. I'm not saying he is, but Amir Khan at the same time, he's a diva. He's not going to let Billy Joe be the A-side in this fight. And he's going to want to get paid extortionate amounts of money to the point where Billy Joe literally walks away with very little. So again, why are you trying to go after a guy who's going to be difficult to negotiate with, who in all fairness, his career's over? It's not going to add any value to your own career or boost your own stock in the sport of boxing. So why are you going after Amir Khan? And why are you not living up to your words, which is that you wanted the winner of Canelo and Triple G? Fine, it was a draw. You can still go and pick a fight with those two. There's no guarantee that them two are going to have an immediate rematch, which I don't see happening. I've said that in my last video about Canelo versus Triple G in the rematch. I said I don't see that fight happening immediately. So you could fight one of those guys. Hell, you got a better. Miguel Cotter's probably a better choice than Amir Khan. If you're going to fight someone at 154, I don't understand why. What? Do you know what I mean? As far as I'm concerned, Billy Joe Saunders is now crunch time. He now should be calling out one of the either Canelo or Triple G, or Daniel Jacobs or Jamal Charlo, one of the top middleweights out there, and going out there saying and starting to make a statement. And instead, he's choosing, nah, actually, I don't want to fight those guys. Because I think he fought on Saturday night and probably felt like, I'm still a bit rusty, or maybe he doesn't feel as confident as he did, because he didn't look very confident after, or very pleased with his own performance on Saturday night. Personally, yeah, he got the job done, but from his facial expressions, he didn't look like he was very pleased with it himself. So maybe there's concerns about his fitness and his fatigue and whether he's ready to get into the ring with a top middleweight. But Amir Khan makes no sense. I don't see that fight happening anyway, because at the end of the day, Amir Khan's just going to say, well, I get 70 or I get 80, you get 20 on the A side, and you know what I mean? He's going to start doing all those sort of stuff like he's done with Kell Brook. Even if you were to make that fight. And does that fight really sell? I don't know. I don't know whether I'd pay for it. I'll probably watch it for free if they put it on Box Nation. But yeah, like I said, as far as I'm concerned, I think, you know, Billy Joe Saunders is just proving what he's always proven about himself. He's all talk, no action, all words. You know, until he's you know, he takes on one of the top middleweights in the world. You know, I'm not gonna, you know, my mindset about him is not gonna change. And that's that. You know, as for Amir Khan, I think Amir Khan's career's, you know, near enough over. I think Amir Khan knows his career's over, and he's just looking for those last few paydays to make sure he's got enough money for when he retires. That's the way I see it. Anyway, let me know what you think of this matchup. I think it's pointless, to be honest with you. I don't see how either fighter benefits from it, in my opinion. But let me know what you think. As always, guys, like, share, subscribe. And if you do choose to subscribe, hit that bell notification icon so you can get notified every time I upload a new video. Until next time, this is Cypherbox reminding you to keep it real.